Casselberry, we are back with another exciting episode of the What's Up Casselberry podcast. My name is Drew Taylor. My co-host, you can't see him, but he's handsome. He's got his nice shirt on today.
I'm looking over my shoulder to see who you're talking about.
That's
It's
Andy.
you.
That's
Do you
Andy
see the wrinkles in my shirt? I put it in my car this morning to change into, and I did in the parking lot. And when I put it in the car this morning, it was all wrinkled, and then just by the heat and the moisture in the car, it looked freshly ironed, I think.
I think that's a divine ironing.
It's an irony.
Irony.
Yes, thank you, Drew Taylor. My name is Andy Searles, and we are both here with our lovely producer, Robin Kepke. Robin, what you got for us today?
I'm here. You're welcome.
She is. Robin is on it. She's here. She works very hard to make this just the best quality podcast this side of 1792.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank
tell you, if you want a good podcast, you cross those tracks.
Don't listen to that Winter Springs one.
That's right.
Unless you want to hire me for it.
We are.
Can we just
Okay,
pause that?
yeah,
'Cause,
for sure.
Drew, do you remember? I don't think we've talked about this on air. Kevin reached out to us.
I was messaging him recently.
Yeah, a few
Who's
months
Kevin?
ago, and said, "Hey, I love what you guys are doing in Casselberry." Kevin Labby used to be involved at the church here at Willow Creek. He said, "And I'm interested in starting a similar podcast for my community. Would you mind if I did?" And so we said, "Look, we'll get our legal team to sit with you. We'll work out franchise fees, and So I thought that was a big compliment.
Yeah,
Look
so
at us.
I'm glad you brought that up because I did follow up with him recently. I think he's a listener occasionally to this pod. So hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
But he told me just once he realized the high quality and the amazing work that we do, he's like, I can't replicate it. It's just too difficult.
Yep,
So
and the huge profit margins we make from our sponsors.
yeah. He wants to stay more humble. He's concerned about us being too arrogant and proud. Our big spending ways. That's a joke. We do not get anything from this other than your affection and feedback. Hopefully it's a blessing.
And
to
the
our
dad
community.
joke, I'll keep sending them.
Yes. Yeah, we do. We do get.
Although
joy
we
out of
haven't
the
heard
jokes.
a Doug dad joke in a while since you got that book.
Well, I will say, you'll notice there's no book today.
I did
And I
notice
will
that.
say, Robin, that I had to pull back from the Doug joke thing
Oh.
because I couldn't stand how much you mocked me for not being an OG original joke teller when Drew just Googled it. And so I'm like, I'm just going to sidestep this argument.
Yeah.
I don't need this drama. I'm
But
just going to be my own self.
Oh, so how did you get these jokes that you are telling?
Inspiration.
That's right, just off the cuff.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh man. Time for the dad jokes of the week. And I've got two for us. Robin, I feel good about these this week. Here we go. This is for you. Number one, Robin, I'm having trust issues.
Oh, Andy.
Particularly with not because of Andy.
Robin.
No, it's actually not because of Andy. I don't
Is it women?
I don't trust stairs. I don't trust
Oh,
stairs.
me either.
They're always up to something.
That's right.
Number two. Number two. This one's good. I like this one.
That one was good too.
Yeah, I like that other one, but this one's good in my eye. So I don't frequent a liquor store often, but it's the holiday season, you need holiday spirits, all that. So I went to the liquor store and I got carded there. I got carded at the liquor store. But as I pulled out my wallet, my Blockbuster card fell out.
Oh.
And the cashier said, never mind. Remember those Blockbusters?
I do.
They were great.
I
Wait,
do.
where was the Blockbuster in this?
In the Publix, the Casselberry.
Yeah, it was.
Casselberry Public.
It was
Yeah.
on the corner.
Nice. There you go. Memories.
That was a Friday night.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Staple.
Big decisions on what you're gonna bring home. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, a
absolutely.
lot resting on that too.
There
You get
was.
the wrong one, it wasn't a good night.
Nope. Agreed.
I remember when they switched to DVDs, when you could get either one, not just VHSs, and that dates me, and I'm gonna.
It is a fascinating story. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it or looked at it. That Netflix actually pitched themselves to Blockbuster, wanting Blockbuster to buy them out, but Blockbuster said, "No, it's not. There's no money in that. We're top of the tree." And look at where we are now.
Wow.
Mhm.
All right, you ready for my
I'm ready.
dad jokes of the week, Robin?
I'm ready.
Natural laughs, no sound laugh track needed. All right. Why did the chicken go to the gym?
Why?
To work on his pecs.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah, a little bit of sad news. Recently, just for a short time, I was kidnapped by some mimes once.
Sorry. Okay, go on.
They did some unspeakable things to me.
Can you imagine like a group of rogue,
Yeah.
evil mimes?
did.
I just love that. It's
They
a great
did-
movie pitch.
They did some unspeakable things. At some,
Well, I'm just
man.
imagining that
Sorry.
he was kidnapped, but he's here, so they must have gave him back. I love you.
oh, maybe someone paid my ransom.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, one last joke, because I know we have our guest ready and waiting to go. Why did the biology teacher break up with the physics teacher?
Why?
There was no chemistry between them.
There you go. The dad jokes of the week. Well, Andy, let's move to our Casselberry in the News segment. And Andy, you are a man about town. You are involved in several different things. Got your hands in a lot of different activities. And one board that you served on recently presented at the city commission meeting this past month. Could you give us sort of an update on where you served and what you were involved with and what was
Yeah,
made
this
of
was
that?
a really amazing experience, really. Every 10 years, it is in the city's bylaws that they are going to review their charter, and the charter kind of is the document that kind of founded the city, that talks about how we're going to operate, what we're going to do, what are our rules and regulations. And so I was nominated by one of the commissioners, and there was 4 other people on the team who were nominated by other commissioners. It was our job to review the city's charter. Now, it sounds pretty boring, the city charter, but honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm becoming a nerd or not. Robin, you can probably tell, having been one for a while.
It was a dad joke.
It was, sorry, that was probably a little rude. But I loved it. And I learned all kinds of nerdy things about the way a city runs. And so we were charged to review it, to raise some questions about it, and see if there was anything that we felt needed to be updated. Not necessarily the principles
Right.
that help the city run, but some of the practices of how those principles express themselves. And so for, I think over the course of about 6-7 weeks, we met a few times, sometimes up to 4 and 5 hours, as we just kind of wrestled down how we wanted to tweak and adapt some of these little changes. Probably don't have enough time to go into that right now, but that might be a very interesting episode. Now we've kind of passed the sunshine rules that we're under. Maybe we could invite another couple of members from the board and just kind of talk it through, because we learned a lot, and I think we did a lot of good things. We pitched our suggestions to the commissioners. They had a long discussion wrestling through them. They accepted some and rejected some, and then those suggestions will actually go on the ballot in November 24 at the general election, and we hope that the citizens of Casselberry will agree with our suggestions, because we think they make sense, and they will be voted into life.
Fantastic.
So it's a great experience. So grateful for some of our city staff, especially Donna Gardner, city clerk, who is the best in the business. She's just incredible. And Katie, our city lawyer, who kind of guided us through the process so we didn't get in any trouble or suggest anything that was unethical or immoral or illegal or anything like that. But really learned a lot, and I would encourage our listeners to go to the city's website, and I think you will see some of the documents that we helped craft.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Where can you find that document? So at the cityofcasselberry.org.
I believe so.
Casselberry.org. That's great.
So.
And last question. How old was the original document? When was the charter originally?
It's
written and
not as
constructed?
old as you think. The city, I think, is probably pushing close to 80 years, been an incorporated city. But there are really kind of 2 forms of government. One is a city manager-led government. So you have your commissioners who are elected and voted in, and they kind of oversee a city manager, and the city manager runs the government. Or a form of government where the commissioners run the city, right? And so I think it was maybe in the late 80s, early 90s that we went to a city manager form of government, and that's when this charter was written and adopted and all that kind of stuff.
Fantastic. So it's not quite the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution.
No,
Not that old.
but I did feel a little bit like Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
asking some of the whys. And
Perfect.
discovering some of the secret tunnels out of. Just kidding.
Well, thank you for your service, and we really appreciate the staff and all that were involved in that. And yeah, we look forward to talking more about that at a future episode. Well, we'll take a short break, and we will be back with our guest.
Are you looking to be part of something bigger? A community that fosters growth, prosperity, and support? Look no further than the Casselberry Chamber of Commerce. Since 2003, we have been dedicated to promoting the prosperity of the greater Casselberry community. But we don't stop there. We are proud supporters of local entrepreneurs, offering scholarships to high school graduates, making donations to food pantries, art programs, local schools, and more. We are not just another division of a larger organization or run by big businesses. In fact, 85% of our membership is comprised of small businesses with 35 employees or fewer. As a member, you'll have access to numerous networking functions and opportunities for personal and professional development, from monthly business luncheon with inspiring speakers to women networking luncheons, ribbon cuttings, and business after hours. We have something for everyone. And check out our annual events, including golf and kickball tournaments and food and wine festival. There's always something exciting happening at the Casselberry Chamber. Join us today and become part of the Casselberry Chamber family. Together, let's make the greater Casselberry community an even better place to live, work, and play. We are here to create value for our members and help your business thrive. Visit casselberrychamber.com for more information.
Listener, welcome back. We are at the best part of the show because we like to talk and get to know some very special guests, and there are a few people more special than our guest today. Her name is Becky Taylor. You may recognize her last name because, yes, she is the wife of our very own Drew Taylor, who is in the studios but sitting in the corner, not allowed to speak. Because this is like an expose, hard-hitting interview. You may have seen on Netflix recently the Beckham documentary, right? Learning about the lady behind the man. This is that. So, Becky, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Are you nervous about some of the questions that Robin's going to ask you in a little bit?
I mean, they're pretty intense.
They have. Well, the questions you see may not be the questions she asks. Just to warn you.
I did study, so I hope they are.
You have nothing to be worried about with me.
Let's get started. Thank you for joining us, Becky. I know that time is very precious to you as you don't have much of it at the moment. So, first question, imagine if Drew was going to do something super romantic and rent a private jet to fly you on vacation anywhere in the world, where would you like him to take you?
Anywhere with sand in the ocean. So it could really be like New Smyrna Beach, Hawaii, Santorini. As long as there's a beach there, I'm happy.
Well, Becky, Drew's taking notes, actually. So that's exciting.
I'm booking things as we speak.
All three of those places, so.
All right, that sounds lovely. Secondly, if you catch a 5-minute break from your children, and we will talk about those precious young folks real soon, what TV show do you like to watch?
So I am good for any, Drew calls it like a love triangle, silly rom-com.
Yeah.
So Heart of Dixie, Gilmore Girls, Virgin River, any of those kind of things.
Sweet Magnolias.
Sweet Magnolias, oh yeah, oh yes. So anything that you can just sit back and know that this person's dating this person, but eventually they're going to be dating this person. That's my jam.
Do you share that with your therapist, Becky?
I do indeed.
I have never heard of any of those shows. Is that bad?
Oh, they're great.
Yeah. It's not surprising.
You know, Becky, there is a question that has been kind of like lingering below the surface for a couple of years now. When we come into this What's Up Casselberry Towers, the studio, we often make office jokes and office references, and my wife Tracy doesn't get them, doesn't like the show, and I understand you are the same. What is wrong with you?
Somebody has to be intelligent in the marriage. So Tracy, me, I mean, come on.
Becky, I did not put Andy up to say that, but yeah, it's true. It's I tell people when they ask me about you, I say she's perfect in every way, except she doesn't like The Office. That's my one flaw. That's pretty good if that's the only flaw you have.
It is.
So how did you meet Drew? I mean, obviously it was not an office trivia night.
No, it was not. So Drew, being the pastor at Willow Creek at the time when we met 10 years ago, was the children's director. And I was living at home, just started teaching, and just kind of needed to like get a refresh on life, a restart on life essentially. And so I decided to walk into a church, and I walked into Willow Creek, and we have these things at our church called the Connect cards, which is like a, hey, I'm here for the first time. Here's my phone number, my address, my email address, whatever. And I honestly filled it out because the lady sitting next to me was very closely sitting next to me. And I was nervous. She was going to be like, why aren't you filling that out? So I filled it out and just prayed that nobody would call me. And this guy called me and I ignored it. And then he called me again and I ignored it. And he called me again. And finally I was like, oh my gosh, this Drew guy is like relentless. And so I finally called him back and was just praying that he wouldn't answer the phone when I called him back. And he answered, and I had never seen him. He had never seen me. And we spent like 45 minutes on the phone without seeing each other, just having really good conversation. He invited me to a small group that he had just started meeting with.
Was it a really small group with just you and him?
Yes, which actually there's a funny story about that too. But so I went to this first small group, and it seriously felt like going on a blind first date.
Wow.
So I was there to hear about Jesus, but really, I might have been there to meet some guy.
I love it. So you came to church to find God, and you ended up meeting Drew.
Yep.
I mean, same thing, right?
No. I mean, that's...
All right, let me take a note here on what to do. Okay.
Just fill in the Connect cards, Robin. That's
right.
all you need to do.
Great.
So Becky, a couple of questions. I think we'd all like to help with the second part of this question. First part is what's so amazing about Drew. Second part is what's so annoying about Drew.
So the first part would be he is incredible at connecting people and making everybody in the room feel like the most important person in the room. I
feel important right now, actually, just because he's next to us. It's crazy.
That's good. I hope Robin's feeling important now too.
Me too.
So, but then the most annoying part, sorry Drew, but you already know
actually,
this.
before you go there, Becky, we've only got like 2 hours to record, so if you could just
Okay. And this is like a direct connect to a marriage counselor, right?
Yeah, they're probably listening.
So I would say the most annoying part is that because he's so interested in making everybody in the room feel so important, he loses social awareness of the situation. So like the kitchen could be absolutely burning down, but he just found out that this person might have a connection with this person. He has no idea the fire is happening.
That's a profound answer.
That's a good.
Yeah.
And with 4 kids, that's really a problem.
Right, because there's always a fire, right?
Yeah.
What would Drew say is the most amazing thing about you?
Oh, my killer personality.
She is funnier
And
than
my
me.
humbleness.
We have agreed, no doubt about it, and Andy would agree too that I'm not very funny.
Yeah, we just had our dad joke section, and I think everybody would affirm that.
Yeah, that's right. So in our marriage, she is the funny one.
For the record, Drew is funny. I can't say he's funnier than Becky, but he is funny.
Oh, thank you.
So enough about Drew, as much as I love him. You are our guest, so let's get to know you. How did you come to Seminole County?
Hang on 1 second. Drew, can you just put that fire out in the corner?
So I came to Seminole County because my parents lived here and I was born here.
Oh, okay. So you were already always here.
So I actually grew up across the street from Tuscaloosa Middle School.
Oh.
And then we moved into Tuscaloosa. And so I lived in Tuscaloosa for most of my life, and then went to Jacksonville for school and moved back home and started teaching in Seminole County.
So you and I met, talking of school and teaching, when you were a teacher at South Seminole back in the day. Were you guys married then? maybe?
No.
No?
So yeah, Becky was taught a self-contained autism unit class there at South Seminole, and that's when we began dating. And I will tell you just a quick story, that was my first time really in Casselberry for an extended period, because of course I wanted to see her. And so I would go to the campus and sign as a guest. And when I went on campus and in her room, at first I was very intimidated, because
she's a beautiful woman.
She's beautiful.
You get nervous around beautiful women.
She had control of the class, and then also just I didn't have a ton of experience with students with different disabilities, special needs, and just watching her connect with those kids, many of whom she still talks to this day, and their parents. It was attractive. It was amazing to watch her do what she clearly was called to do.
There are a few things as beautiful as seeing someone fully alive in doing what they're doing. Actually, Becky, just to add to one of Drew's frustrating faults, he actually answered the question I was going to ask you about what you did there at Seminole, at South Seminole Middle School as it was then. Tell us, how was your experience there though?
I really enjoyed it. So I was there for 5 years, I think. My first year, I was a co-teacher, so I would pop into math classes and assist the teachers with just making the lesson more attainable for students with disabilities. And then the following years, I was in the self-contained setting, so I had the same kids, anywhere from 7 to 12 of them all day. And I taught all of the subjects, and I had 2 assistants in my room. My heart was like on fire. Like that was the closest, I called it a family. It wasn't even a class. Yeah. And like Drew said, I keep very close contact with a lot of those families still to this day.
That's amazing. And that says so much about your heart and your care for people. Staying with the school a little bit, it has been said, maybe just by me, but I said it, so it is what it is, that you can tell a lot about the culture of a community by the schools within that community. What did serving at South Seminole Middle, or South Seminole Academy as it's now known, tell you about the Casselberry community?
I would say the 2 things that I noticed the most was, first, there was a lot of needs, whether it be needs as far as food, clothing, housing. There was just a ton of needs. And then the second thing that I would say was there was a desire for the citizens and residents of Casselberry to be seen and to be heard. They wanted the amazing history of the city to be known. A lot of the parents of my students grew up going to these same schools. And so the sense of neighborhood feel, people wanted that to be known and to be seen. But yeah, the number one thing was the amount of needs that these kids had. It was, some of it was really heartbreaking. And it made me realize, like, holy smokes, no wonder these kids are struggling in math. It's because they can't focus on, that is minuscule to them. They're trying to figure out, where am I going to sleep tonight? Or am I going to be warm tonight? That kind of thing. So, yeah.
Wow. You obviously have a gift with kids, and you were gifted with 4 kids of your own. So how has that changed your life? I mean, obviously it's changed your life.
When Drew and I met, we knew that adoption was going to be a part of our family, but we didn't know obviously what that would look like. So when we got married, we decided to start the process knowing that it could be pretty lengthy. And we were 3 years into the process. And throughout those 3 years, we had hit multiple roadblocks and like doors closed. And so we thought maybe the Lord was trying to tell us that adoption wasn't the route we should be taking to grow our family. So we decided to pursue fertility treatment and see, okay, it's been a couple years, nothing's happened, so let's go from there. So we decided to pursue fertility treatment. And from there, we went to a doctor and he said, I'm really sorry, there's absolutely nothing that we can do. There is no way that you guys are going to be able to get pregnant. I'm really sorry. And we left that appointment fully at peace because we had felt so called to adoption. So we decided, okay, this is the Lord's way of saying, yes, adoption is for us. So we continued with that. And that was in, we were married in 2015. The appointment was in January of 2020. So we met with an agency and we signed on with them. And within a month, we were matched with our son. So, which was crazy because 4 years of nothing. And then all of a sudden, like, bam, 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 it all happened. So we had, our son was born in May of 2020. We decided to go through the adoption process again 2 years later. And then our daughter was born June of 2022. And she had a longer NICU stay. While she was in the NICU, we lived in the town that she was born. We came home. So she was 16 days old at the time. And I thought, oh my goodness gracious, I feel so sick. I think I have this is crazy. I was negative for COVID. I was negative for the flu. I was negative for strep, everything. And my friend said, well, the only other test that is available to take that would explain why you are so sick is a pregnancy test. And I was like, that is so dumb. We were told we could never. And I took it and it was immediately pregnant. We went and got an ultrasound done. And we found out that it was not just one baby, it was two. So we became pregnant with twins. Yeah, kind of shocking. So that's how we have our 4 beautiful children. So we have a 3-year-old and then a 15-month-old and then 9-month-olds.
So from 0 to 60. So a full house.
Yes, it was quite a fast track we took.
You know what? You missed a few years in the beginning. So they're like, hey, let's just fill it in here. So obviously having one baby is a lot to handle. So I can only imagine having 4, all very close to the same age. So especially 3 of them, like practically the same age. But I know at one point you actually were a business owner. You had a successful and I believe award-winning swimming lesson business. So how has been working in general or juggling owning a business or putting a business on hold with your life as a mom? Because obviously you're much more than just a mom.
If it was just one baby, we could have stayed put in our home, but with 2, we definitely knew we needed more space. So we actually ended up moving, and the home that we moved into does not have a pool. So the business is on hold right now. I would say probably until the 20s get to be in kindergarten, or maybe preschool, but we'll have to feel it out. So right now we are super, super blessed. I have a nanny who's with me every day while Drew's at work. Jalen goes to school, and then I have a nanny with me full time to just help me juggle the 3 very needy babies.
So obviously that is your full-time job right now?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I do is I joke with Drew. I'm like, yep, I just wipe butts and wash bottles all day long.
Those are important tasks.
They're very important.
And you seem more than qualified to handle that.
That's right.
I have no children, but I watch you on like Instagram with all these kids, and like you're doing these fun reels for a clothing boutique, I think.
Yes.
And obviously, like, I'm sure a lot of work goes into that, but like you still seem to not lose the sense of yourself, even though now you have become super mom, at least to the outside.
Thank you. Yeah. So Drew is actually a huge part in that, because I am very much more like routine, schedule. Spontaneity is not my thing. I like to know what the day holds. And Drew is very much like, hey, we've got 3 hours of nothing and it's right before nap time. So let's just get in the car and go to the park. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. I can't do it. And he kind of forces me out of my bubble to do that, which is great, because when we had Jay, like, that kid saw the world. Nothing held us back. Nothing kept us home. And then when we had Willow, I was so sick being pregnant that poor little Willow didn't get the same experiences. And then the fear of the twins also not getting those experiences so Drew has like pushed that on our family. Like, we're going to get out, we're going to do what we need to do, which is also why we have Nellie, our nanny, so that I can still take the kids to music class and stuff like that. So
that's amazing. Yeah, Drew's sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it.
Drew is very you know, he's very talented, and obviously he's a good dad and a good husband. So we'll keep him around for everything.
That's right.
We'll let him stay. Well, Becky, thank you so much for being on. Thank you for putting up with the audio and difference in days filming this. Is there anything else you'd like to say to our audience, or about Casselberry, or about anything? This is your moment.
I mean, I would just say like a big thanks to the city of Casselberry for putting on all of the family events and the food trucks on the Friday night. It's the first or second Friday. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But just making it a family-friendly community so that we can get out and do those things that Drew pushes us to do. Because once we're there, it's great. It's fun. So yeah, I would just say thanks to the city and thanks to all the businesses and organizations that put that stuff on.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
Well, thank you so much.
You married an amazing lady. After listening to that interview, I'm not quite sure what she saw in you, but you did well. All right, let's wrap up this fun show. Drew, would you share with us some inspirational thoughts?
Absolutely. And yes, 100% agree. I definitely married up. Well, this comes from an individual who I assume you would be a champion of, Andy, a role model of yours perhaps, Pele. The soccer star Pele.
Yes.
Yep. He said this: success is no accident. It's hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, a love of what you're doing. Let me read that again. Success is no mere accident. It's hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing. Pele, of course, was a soccer star, but really this quote applies to any focus in life, any goal that you have. Listener, perhaps you're a mother or a father trying to raise quality, successful children. Maybe you're thinking about your workplace and trying to get your business going and being the best employee you can be. Maybe you're just trying to be a good citizen, an engaged citizen in the beautiful place of Casselberry where we live. Regardless of the focus, regardless of the goal, success is no accident. There's thought, there's certainly hard work and planning. Oftentimes, we've talked about this in the podcast before, there's failure, and overcoming that failure with perseverance and learning from our mistakes and studying and growing. But most of all, being the best you can be, being successful in this life, really does come from within. It comes from a heart, a love of the things that you've been blessed with, the things that you've been equipped to do. And my encouragement to you is, what is your goal, identifying it, and then loving what you're doing and working hard to earn said goal. So thank you, Pele, for that quote and encouragement.
Thank you, Drew, for those words as you started talking about hard work and struggle. I thought you were going to talk about the podcast. But of course, this is a lot of fun and a labor.
We love doing it, that's right.
That's right. Robin, what do you have to share as we close?
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Drew. And thank you, Becky. Thank you, listener, for listening to this episode of the What's Up Casselberry podcast, hosted by Drew Taylor and Andy Searles. You can check us out on social media and our website, www.whatsupcasselberry.org.
You made it.
I don't know. Something. Until next time, have a great week.